How many of us have never looked up at the sun because we heard that if you look at the sun, it'll blind you? What if somebody told you that looking into the sun doesn't blind you, it actually has healing and spiritual benefits? It's a new perspective when you hear that all the ancient civilizations, they didn't just worship the sun. The sun was God to them, the manifestation in this realm of God.
Most are familiar with the idea that people in ancient times worshipped the sun, but few understand just how many did all over the world. The sun was used as the greatest symbol of the divine across the ancient world for thousands of years. And there is a profound reason. It's not to do with growing crops. Many of the great civilizations of the ancient world venerated the sun, such as the Hittites, Assyrians, Phoenicians, Egyptians, Japanese, Chinese, Khmer, Persians, and Sumerians. The Olmec, Maya, Aztec and Inca of Central and South America, and numerous peoples of North America, including the Anasazi, Hopi, Zuni, mound and megalith builders, likewise worshipped it as their supreme divinity. Ancient sun worship is also found across the islands of the world, such as on Easter Island, the Canary Islands, and New Zealand. Even the legendary civilizations of Atlantis, Hyperborea, and Shambhala was said to be inhabited by those who worshipped the sun. The Romans too venerated the supreme sun until it was replaced by another, less obvious form of sun worship. These traditions stem from a once great ancient religion of the sun that dawned far back in the depths of prehistory and spread out across the world. Yet sun worship has often been seen as little more than the instinctive impulse of primitive people to make gods out of those things necessary to their survival. However, those who venerated it built the greatest ancient civilizations and the most advanced and enigmatic sacred sites on the planet, all of which are aligned to the sun, like the Great Pyramids and Sphinx, Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, the Ziggurat of Ur, and the list goes on and on and on. Looking more deeply, we found a far more profound explanation for the worship of the sun. Ancient people knew that the sun had a spiritual side, which manifests as the material sun we see in the sky. As well as being the material source of creation, it was also the spiritual source. On a material level, to anyone who observes the cycles of nature, it becomes clear that the sun is the greatest source of light and life. Without it, nothing could exist. Solar energy is also the fuel that powers our bodies. Ancient texts reveal that many understood the sun was ultimately spiritual in origin. The sun worship of the past in the more advanced societies was really the worship of the spiritual sun, not the physical sun. But what and where is this spiritual sun? Near-death and out-of-body experiences attest to the reality of other dimensions. Even science theorizes that multiple parallel dimensions exist. These have long been written about in ancient traditions as the many realms existing beyond our physical one, where people go after death and where higher and lower beings reside. It was also preserved in the traditions of the Hopi, in which the sun is merely the material manifestation of an otherwise unseen creator. Following the ancient axioms of as above, so below, and as within, so without, every being is said to have an individual sacred sun that is of the same substance as the creator. Those who followed the ancient religion of the sun often called themselves children of the sun. The aim of the religion of the sun was to return to and reintegrate with one's own spiritual sun and unique star. Those who incarnated their spiritual sun became known as sons of the sun and were often depicted with the sun as a halo around their head. They were as god men and women who worked to spread the knowledge of the sacred sun on earth, leaving behind some of the greatest wisdom teachings in history. The sun too was used as a symbol of consciousness, our inner spark, which has its seat in the pineal gland within the body and was depicted as a third eye or sometimes as a single right eye.
Why would every single civilization across the entire planet prior to religion be worshiping the sun? Look up Jesus right now, Google him. Why is he named the Son of God? Not S-U-N, but S-O-N. But behind his head in almost every picture is a picture of the sun. The most spiritual thing that we can do as human beings is get in touch with our inner being, get in tune with our dreams. Looking into the sun helps us remember our dreams.
But my dreams, after I started sun gazing, have been much, much more vivid. I've been able to recall them in more detail and more of them. My dreams have been, the probability of them being lucid are much more high.
Now, I want to show you guys an example of some of the brainwashing that they do. Main things that will help us ascend. Looking into the sun.
What the fuck?
There's a reason why medical professionals tell you not to look into the sun, okay? When you Google it, newsflash, it tells you that the sun will literally burn your eye. What's even scarier are the comments.
I'm so fucking baffled.
You know, I'm going to be completely honest with you, and this is just a guess, but they probably tell us not to look directly at the sun because it's a giant ball of fire. Like, I'm not going to look at the sun because somebody told me not to. I'm going to not look at the sun because I'm not a fucking idiot. Dude, I swear, people will make a conspiracy theory out of literally anything.
Exactly what they're saying is the mindset that they want us to have. The earth is ran by Satan. Everything starts to make sense when you see it like this. It makes sense that they trying to block out the sun or make us think that the sun is our enemy. The sun is not our enemy. If you want a hoodie like this, you can go to iccolors.com.